Okay, we start with a woman's voice here with Ben Franklin quote. Very good. We got a guy here, two-person podcast so far. I think it's a two-person podcast. Welcome to the Promptsmith's Almanac. We have another AI tool from Google that we're going to explore in this episode. Previously, we worked with Gemini. Now we're going to work with Google's Notebook LM tool, which is pretty cool. Essentially, you upload batches of information. For our purposes, I added a link to the YouTube channel URL and all the Promptsmith's Almanac related ChatGPT prompts that I had done as well. And you get, as a result, a bunch of different things. You can get a mind map, different reports, an audio overview, and a video overview. I'm going with the audio overview for our purposes because what I've heard through the grapevine is that it's kind of like a podcast of sorts. So I put everything in, I got the audio overview back, it took some minutes, but let's take a listen and see what we're working with.
He that cannot ask a good question is not likely to get a good answer. That's Ben Franklin, right?
Okay, we start with a woman's voice.
Hitting us right out of the
Franklin
gate
quote.
with
Very
some
good.
pretty profound wisdom.
We
Still
got a
holds
guy
up.
here.
It really does.
Two-person
and honestly,
podcast
for
so
anyone
far.
feeling
I think
swamped by information
it's a
today,
two-person podcast.
or maybe struggling to get good answers, even from really smart AI tools, well, those words hit differently now. Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive, where we try to unpack the ideas
They're
that
welcoming us, just
really
like
matter.
I do.
And
Oh,
today we're diving
fantastic.
into something that feels increasingly essential. This idea of the promptsmith.
a promptsmith. Okay, so like a modern kind of craftsperson.
This guy sounds like
AI.
John Favreau
Exactly.
from
If
Pod
you're new to
Save
this,
America.
a prompt is basically the question or instruction you feed an AI. And the promptsmith, well, that's the person who gets really good at crafting those prompts. The artisan, if you like.
Ah, okay, so it's about asking better questions, not just for AI, but more broadly.
Precisely. It's becoming clear that this skill impacts how we interact with tech, sure, but also how we navigate life's complexities.
And this deep dive, we're drawing inspiration from a new approach,
it's a
right?
bold,
Something called the
overarching
Promptsmith's
ambition
Almanac.
there.
That's the one. It's an interesting initiative aiming to blend
That's
that
the
kind
one.
of timeless wisdom, like Franklin's, with smart prompt techniques.
Okay, so our mission today, unpack what a promptsmith really is, look at some maybe surprising ways thoughtful prompting is used.
And connect those dots between older philosophies and very new technology.
I'm just really curious about this. Why is asking
That's the
questions suddenly
almanac
such a
right
big
there.
deal? It feels basic, but also new.
I like
Let's
the
get into
flow
it.
here.
What's
They've got a
fascinating
good
is how
dynamic
something
going
seemingly simple, asking questions, becomes this powerful lever, especially with complex systems like modern AI.
A lever. How so?
Because it's not just about technical
Complex,
skill
you got
anymore.
some
It's not just
odd
knowing how to operate a
pronunciations
machine.
there, a little bit of
It marks a
stilted
real shift in
voices,
how we find
but
information, how
for
we
the
put
most
it together,
part, there's just
how
good
we find
flow.
clarity, really.
So less about knowing facts, more about asking the right way.
Exactly. We're drowning in information now, right? Information is abundant. So the key isn't hoarding facts anymore. It's the art of inquiry. Knowing how to ask the questions that unlock the
I
right
feel like
information
this guy is trying
or
to sound a
generate
bit
new
like
insights.
an oracle, though.
That makes sense. So the promptsmith,
He's a little.
the
He's a
source
little
material defines them as a
mansplaining.
craftsman of
And
questions,
she's
not
like
metal
kind
or
of
words.
Yeah, shaping
more
language.
The person who's
Shaping language to
asking
steer machines,
questions
yes,
and unsure
but also to influence
of
mind.
herself
And
or
even
of the situation.
ourselves,
But
towards clarity. That's
a good
quite
flow. It's
profound.
good
More
flow.
than just getting an AI to write an email for you.
Much more. The idea is that leverage, real power in this age, belongs not to coders, but to askers.
Okay, wait. Not to coders, but to askers. That's a strong statement.
It is. Not to the ones who know
That is
everything,
a
but to the
strong
ones who know how
statement.
to ask better.
I would agree,
the
but that's a
code.
strong
Wow.
statement.
So what does that shift really mean for how we learn, how we solve problems day to day?
Well, think about what
It's gonna
bending
make a
machines,
lot of
minds, and
coders angry.
ourselves actually looks like in practice.
Okay, let's break that down. Bending machines.
That's crafting a query so precise, so targeted, that the AI gives you exactly the nuanced answer you need. Not just generic fluff, like instead of, tell me about the housing market, you'd ask.
Something like analyze the current housing market for Gen Z buyers, factoring in inflation and remote work, specifically through a behavioral economics lens.
Perfect example. That's bending the machine towards
Pretend you're a real
specific
estate
deep insight.
economist
Got
and
it.
you know, all that
And bending
stuff. Yeah,
minds.
that's
That sounds like
basically the idea.
influencing people.
In a way, yes,
I
but
like to set a role.
constructively. It's about phrasing a question to a team, say, that reframes a problem entirely, sparks new thinking.
Like instead of why are we behind schedule?
Right. Maybe you ask, if we had to deliver 80% of the value in half the time, what's the one thing we'd protect and what would we cut immediately? See how that shifts the focus?
And yeah, it moves from blame to strategy.
Okay.
And bending ourselves, that sounds introspective.
Yeah, I
Deeply.
like that.
It's using prompts to
That's
challenge
good
your
on
own
a personal
assumptions.
level too.
Like a stoic philosopher might dissect a worry.
So turning inner chaos
Yep.
into a clear
They're
problem
getting it.
statement. Using prompts for self-reflection.
Exactly. You structure your internal state. It's taking that tangled feeling and giving it a framework AI can help you explore. It's a fundamental reorientation.
Okay, I see the potential there. But does focusing so much on the askers maybe undervalue deep knowledge, like the coders, the experts? Or is it more about adding a layer?
That's a really important clarification. No, it's absolutely not about devaluing expertise. It's about amplifying it. Think about
Well, with the
it. A coder who
thing
understands
earlier,
prompt
I mean,
smithing
let's-
can build
let's
better
hear Matt, though.
tools. An expert can use it to push
That's
the
very
boundaries
true.
of their own field, ask questions they hadn't even thought of.
So it's
Yep.
complementary. Expertise plus better questioning equals something more.
Exactly. The power comes from the combination.
It just
And
makes it
you're
more
right to question the
accessible,
focus. When
because
people hear
previously it's
prompting,
only the
they often
coder
jump
that could do
straight
all
to
of that.
generative AI, like ChatGPT writing things.
Yeah, that's mostly what you hear about.
But this concept goes way beyond just generating content. The source material gives some really concrete, practical examples.
Okay, like what? Beyond just writing emails or blog posts.
Absolutely. Solving real, complex work problems. Using AI not just to brainstorm,
Or personal
but maybe
problems.
to analyze messy data by asking it to find connections between seemingly unrelated points, finding that novel insight.
Okay, that's more analytical.
Or think about writing grant proposals. That's a huge, high-stakes task. A
Definitely.
prompt smith could ask an AI to draft sections using specific persuasive techniques, maybe Aristotelian rhetoric, tailored exactly to the funder's known values. That's strategic.
That's moving beyond just filling in
That's-
blanks.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
personal
smart.
stuff too.
Yeah, things like thinking through tough family decisions. You mentioned moving.
Right, like the example from a
There we
teenager's
go,
view.
personal stuff.
What are the top
Love
anxieties
it.
and opportunities of moving? And then frame those as conversation starters.
Exactly. It's using the AI to help with
Huge.
empathy
Yeah.
and communication
That's
strategy,
a
not
good
just
example.
logistics.
Wow.
And I like the one about weird, unfinished creative dreams. We all have those, right?
We do.
They've got a great
Instead of just
rapport.
letting
They're
them
both
sit
great,
there,
I think,
you could
in
use
their own
prompts
way,
with
but
an
I
AI
like the
to
female
explore why
voice
they're
a bit
unfinished.
better.
What are
the
the
woman's
fears,
voice
the hurdles?
has a bit more
Turning that
variation, I
vague
think, in the
guilt
emotions.
into actual steps. Or maybe deciding to let it go peacefully. That's surprisingly versatile.
It really is. And the aha moment, for many, according to the source, is when you mix these good prompts with, well, old school wisdom.
Old school wisdom, like Franklin, you mean, or Munger, Stoics.
Precisely. Figures like that. When you combine
Yeah,
their
Charlie
frameworks,
Munger
their
gets a
mental
shout-out.
models, with sharp prompting, you don't just get AI outputs. You get genuine clarity.
Prompting?
Clarity. Okay, so it's not AI replacing wisdom.
No, it's amplifying it,
Right.
directing it, giving it a new tool, a new lens. It's a powerful synergy.
Talk more about that clarity. What does that
Yeah,
actually
he sounds
feel like
a
or
lot
look
like John Favreau.
Well, clarity is about cutting through complexity, right? Seeing the core issues, finding pathways. Take something like procrastination. It feels messy, emotional.
Definitely familiar.
Okay, so instead of just asking, how do I stop procrastinating? You bring in wisdom. Maybe Stoicism, Epictetus' idea of control. You prompt the AI. Using Epictetus' dichotomy of control, help me list aspects of my procrastination I can control and those I just need to accept.
You need a
Then for the
philosophy
controllable
degree or
parts,
minor
give me
for
3
some of the
concrete
stuff,
steps.
but,
So you're forcing structure onto the
concept
feeling,
of
using the wisdom as the structure for the
utilizing
prompt.
Exactly. You turn the
all of
model
that
into a
wisdom, I think,
clear
is
problem statement for the
something
AI
that
to work
is
with.
underutilized.
That leads to deeper insight than a generic how-to.
Or the Charlie Munger inversion thing. Instead of how to succeed, ask how to fail.
Right. Prompt. To guarantee my new business fails, what are the top 5 mistakes I must make? Then you flip them. Now, inverse those into 5 essential success strategies.
That's clever. It forces you to see it
And
differently.
Bert,
So
I
the
think,
AI
today
isn't just giving information, it's
close.
helping you think better using these proven mental frameworks.
Precisely. It's wisdom amplified intelligence.
Wisdom amplified intelligence.
Yeah.
I like that. So these
Wisdom
tools from, say,
amplified
1750 and
intelligence, that's damn
2025,
good.
they're not just coexisting, they're weaving together.
Yes.
But how does that weaving actually elevate prompting, make it more than just a technique? Because someone listening might think, okay, isn't this just thinking hard?
That's a fair point. It is built on critical thinking, but it's different.
No.
It's about the structured application and the amplification. We're not just thinking hard in a vacuum. We're using AI's power, but directing it with proven wisdom frameworks.
Okay, so there's a structure to it. The source mentioned a kind of weekly format.
Yeah, it proposed a rhythm. Start with one big idea from an old school thinker. Let's say the Stoic idea of cremeditatio malorum, anticipating the bad stuff.
Okay, thinking about what could go
Whatever
wrong.
that
Most
is.
people focus on the positive.
Right. So
There
you
we
take
go.
that Stoic idea, then
breaking it down
step
and
2,
simplifying it.
craft a powerful prompt based on it.
Like, using Seneca's advice on premeditatio malorum, help me explore the downsides of this job interview. What could go wrong?
Exactly. But go further and help me articulate concrete strategies for how I'd respond to each negative outcome.
Okay, so you're prepared,
There you
not
go.
just worried.
That's smart.
Precisely. Then step 3, you take the AI's output, those potential
Acknowledge the
setbacks
worry,
and your planned responses,
prepare.
and you test it. You reflect. That's the story or insight from experiments.
So you might mentally rehearse it,
Yeah,
or
there's a
even
lot of
role play, see
mindfulness
how it actually affects you.
in
Yes.
this
You see how that
mindfulness
structured
potential.
preparation changes how you feel, how you perform. It's practical, not just philosophical. It cuts anxiety, builds real confidence.
Okay, I see the loop now. Wisdom informs the prompt, AI helps explore it, reflection locks in the learning. It's a system.
It is. It shows how the past informs our questions for the present, using AI for genuinely thoughtful exploration, not just quick answers. The AI becomes a kind of sophisticated mirror.
Reflecting our thinking back, but maybe sharper, clearer, helping us
Sophisticated
see
mirror.
past our own biases.
That's a great way to put
That's
it.
a pretty
It
good
forces
metaphor.
articulation and exploration in a way that just thinking harder often doesn't achieve alone.
Okay, so bringing this back home, what does this all mean for you,
That goes
the
back
listener,
to that
practically?
untangling
Well, as we wrap up this deep
metaphor
dive,
from earlier.
the big takeaway is that asking good questions isn't just a niche tech skill anymore.
Right, it's becoming vital, transformative, a
And that's what's
shortcut
great.
to clarity.
That's why the Prompts
this,
Almanac exists.
information
That's why
overload we live
I wanted
in.
to do
It gives you
this.
real leverage to shape understanding, solve problems, even tackle personal stuff. You move from being passive recipient to active architect of insight.
From a knowledge economy to an inquiry economy.
I like that. An inquiry economy. The
That's
tools change,
awesome.
yeah, but the human need for
Inquiry
understanding,
economy,
for insight that's
yes.
constant. Prompt smithing is just a
I
new,
think a
powerful way
collaborative
to meet that
inquiry
need.
economy.
Okay, so for our final thought, our challenge for you this week, it comes straight from these principles we've been talking about.
Ready, here it is. Write a letter to your 10 years ago self.
Okay.
Ask an AI, like ChatGPT, to co-write it with you.
Using the AI as a partner.
Exactly. And the core question for
There
that
you go,
letter is, what do you
collaborative.
wish you had known about asking better questions?
Oh, that's meta. Asking better questions about asking better questions.
It is. It's a really powerful, reflective exercise. Don't overthink it. Just give it a try. See what comes up.
Because the process itself, that structured reflection with the AI's help, that might bring unexpected insights. That's the core idea, right?
That's the core mission of prompt smithing, really. It's not just about the answer you get back. It's about how the process of asking, of inquiry, leads to clarity and maybe even some genuine self-discovery.
Engaging with your past self, using AI as a thinking partner, you might find new questions for your present.
And maybe illuminate your future a little differently. Give it a shot.
Give it a shot. Wow. So, initial thoughts, I'm pretty impressed by the audio overview / podcast episode through Notebook LM. I mean, the voices I thought were pretty natural throughout. There was a great dynamic and interplay between the man's voice and the woman's voice. I did think that the woman's voice was definitely better overall. There was a greater range of emotion there. The man's voice, maybe I just couldn't get past the Jon Favreau sound-alike. But I thought there could be a little bit more, inflection or emotion at certain points. They covered a tremendous amount of ground in 12 minutes. They touched on using AI for personal, professional, preparing for a job interview, preparing for a move. They talked about multiple schools of philosophy, philosophers throughout history, and how they could be utilized within an LLM to help with certain life issues. And they asked a lot of questions along the way. So I think overall it was a very effective tool, and I could see it being used in a number of different ways, whether it's putting that audio overview out into the world in some way, shape, or form, whether it is having a mind map, working collaboratively on something like that, whether it's generating reports for a team or for even a small business. I could see a lot of ways to use it. And there's a lot that's, this is the free version that I'm working within, and there's a lot that you can do just within that. So I look forward to exploring Notebook LM a lot more. The app is incredibly user-friendly, in my opinion. And I actually generated the audio overview within it and was able to just plop everything that Notebook LM needed to get started in there. And within 20 minutes or so, that 12-minute audio overview podcast episode had been created. I was able to listen to it, with you all. And I think that I am impressed. I'm not going to lie. I think it's pretty cool. So if you have an idea for a future episode of the Promptsmith's Almanac, please comment, get in touch, and I'll be happy to explore that. Always looking for new content ideas. Do like and subscribe as well. I look forward to continuing